think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you? That I don't think that he's good.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I just realized it is Oscars night. I knew it was coming up. I didn't know it started at 7. So no apologies. If you're all Team Replay, I appreciate you. If you are live here in the chat and you've got the Oscars on somewhere else, I appreciate that. I'm trying to find it somewhere else. I saw some of the entries. Mama Bees was here and may still be here. Evening Sandra P. Mods. Hello, Mama Bees, one of the moderators. Thank you so much for coming in. Ophelia Burkhalter, thank you. Thank you so much for coming in. Hello, Sandra P., everyone in the chat. American Born said this is her show, y'all. So we're going to have fun. Good evening at Sandra P.'s Gen Extra Mods chat. Those of you that are here for the live, thank you. Those of you that will be here for Team Replay, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to have a different few configurations just so we see different ones of the ladies and gent. It's Ladies of London, The New Reign. That below me is the lovely Mark. I'll think of his last name, Vidal, something like that. Mark Francis Vidal. He's very fancy, so he's got 2 to 3 names. But this is the Ladies of London. And we have been introduced to them this season. They're having a pretty good season so far. I actually like it. And I was trying to find a picture of Dara. I'd saved a picture of Dara because I reported last week and it has been all over the internet, all over YouTube. Excuse me. Dara actually supposedly quit at her own party, but Dara is in a couple of scenes. So she is not a dumb young lady. She's an architect. That's the one they were rumoring was a madam. So that was part of the conflict from last week. Episode 2, I actually had to give a 10, y'all, because it kept me engaged. The cast, to me, all of them weren't very likable, but I did love the fact that they kept me engaged. They put all their business on Front Street, except for Dara. Dara's trying to have this new persona, and I don't know if that's going to fly with the rest of the group. Her friend Myka was instrumental to the mess. She's also in it again. And y'all, I didn't realize I didn't have a picture of Dara. I was trying to save it. That is Dara. So if I can add her to the cast photo, which as you can see, she's not in the cast photo. So I don't know the time frame of how and why she quit, but Bravo, Peacock, NBC Universal, whomever, they've let her know you can leave, but not right now. So we're still going to see some Dara in this week's episode. Clears up a little bit, but not that much. So we'll see. I'll read a couple of comments and then I'll get started. American Born says, yes, I love the new cast. Yeah, it's kind of confusing, American Born, because when I had my thumbnails, I say Ladies of London, The New Reign. I had season 1, episode 1 and 2. I was looking at it as The New Reign. But on Bravo, they have Ladies of London, The New Reign, season 4, episode 3. So that's what I put on the thumbnail. It's Whining in the Rain. It's discussion, a little bit of recap, just for the people that are not watching yet. A little bit of updates. We'll find out if Myka and Dara are still friends. So that was Dara. This is the rest of the cast behind me. Even the ones that I don't really care for. And I'm on the jury's out on some of them, just some of their humor. But again, the British humor is supposed to be a little bit biting, sarcasm, other things, which I don't mind. I can laugh with it, but, don't get too cute. The only Asian lady is a madam. Come on, y'all. I don't know. Some of the humor is suspect. Mama Bees, I'm here doing multiple things at once. Mama Bees, I know how it is. I appreciate you when you come in, though. I do. I really do. So thank you so much. Everyone's pretty civilized over here. I'm trying to draw a new crowd in because it's a new show. And like I said, the Londoners, their sense of humor is a little bit biting. For those of you that watched one of my first shows I reviewed, Eat, Slay, Love, they had a comedian on there called London Hughes. Now, I don't know if her real name is London, but she was from the United Kingdom. And she had some of that biting humor that she used on Tammy and Eva the Diva. And they wanted to catch hold to her. And she left crying. She was calling somebody, I got to go. I got to leave. They're all making fun of me. You were making fun of them. So we'll see. We can make fun with them back. American Born says, Dara's not likable. She is an ASS. I don't care for her. I don't like the way she gaslights and lies to her friend in her face. We'll go over it. But Myka's a little naive. Myka can stand up for herself. I don't know why she's doing this. Like, this is my best friend. The lady says she don't know you. And you still saying that? Now, they've known each other since they were 17. But that doesn't mean, longevity doesn't mean that's your best friend. American Born said, it is confusing. It's going to take some time to learn all their names. Yes, it is. I'm going to try to do the best I can with that. Bravo has it. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to go to bravo.com and then I'll share screen and then just try to, hopefully that will help. I have to be really careful though, because I don't want to end up Xing out of anything that I will actually need. You're right. She's giving Dara too much grace, way too much. Now, I felt a little sorry last week. She let us know her husband is a financier. He's in private equity. He travels weekly and they have 2 small children. And she said, I don't have any family here. Dara's my best friend again. So she needs to do something. This is not working out. So we're going to start with Dara's party of last week. And just for housekeeping, as you come in, if you are in the live, please press the like button. It helps keeps a new growing channel in the algorithm. If you are in Team Replay, if you're on Team Replay, if they give you a hype feature, please go ahead and hype the video. You only get 3 per week, so consider giving me one, please. That helps a lot. And if you hear any news that we might want to know, as far as the Oscars, we got our eye on sinners, all things sinners. I really don't care about too much else. Let us know if there's anything fun, funny, crazy, Will Smith slap anybody, Tourette's, just drop it in the chat because we'd like to hear what's going on. So we're going to start with Dara's party. Supposedly she quit, but again, we'll see her this week. They start out. Where's the hype thing? It's there where you press the like. It's not on all of the videos. So when you go in and your Team Replay, you press the like. It's right under the like, dislike. There's some, like if you want to save, share, hype is a feature. So you'll just have to look for it among different videos. I don't know what the criteria is, American Born, but supposedly, I've seen it on some, but not all videos. So I'm not sure why that is. So we start out, they're discussing different London residential neighborhoods. If you're in Chelsea, if you're over here, if you're over there, of course, some of it is just them being kind of elitist. They're trying to see whether or not somebody, if you live over here, you can tell whether or not the type of person they are. So they're trying to find out really if you're in the ghetto or East End or somewhere like that. So that is something that kind of gets under my skin, but it kind of makes me laugh because they are upfront with it. I'll start looking for it. Thank you. Thank you, American Born. I appreciate your support. I really do. So Myka, Kimmi, and Lottie are going to lunch together or brunch. They want to rehash the party. This is like the Real Housewives format. A big event goes down, and then you get the people that like to talk about it together the next day or as soon after as possible for lunch. So they are talking about, don't blame the messenger. They're talking about the model, the one down below with the white thing on her head. If you can see her in the corner, that is Misse. And I'm sorry, I do talk to text, so excuse me if I get some of the names wrong. I'll try to go back and get it correctly because I don't have the Bravo article pulled up, but I will pull it up just so I can make sure. Because like American Born pointed out, this is a new cast, and we are trying to get to know all of them together. They had a big event in New York, y'all. The Dara was there. The Brooke Ashley was there. I follow her on IG, and she said she loved everybody. She said they were a mess, each and every one. So I was glad to hear that. Some events come near me. Bravo, invite me. Y'all invite the new people, the bigger people all the time. Invite me. I'll go. I went to BravoCon. I'm nowhere near Vegas. So we start out with them at the lunch in together. They are blaming Misse for bringing it up to Myka and Dara. But it wasn't Missy's fault. Misse is on this new thing where she feels like with therapy, she's able to be herself and to live in her truth and to say the things that she wants to say and not keep things bottled up inside. So I didn't think that was fair for them to kind of say, well, don't blame the messenger, but then try to make like it was kind of her fault. So Lottie was surprising. She said she feels bad for Misha because she was made to look like a liar because, of course, Dara denied it outright. Dara is a straight-faced liar. Dara's scary. She said, I didn't say that at all. And then production, to protect themselves and to make a show, they had it off screen. Well, she's saying, well, I did say that, but I didn't want to talk about it right then. So that's the type person Dara is. American Born was alluding to that. She's kind of terrible. I'm glad she called her out. I am too. Because sometimes a bold liar like that, they're counting on no one saying anything. And it was just Dara and Misse, so it was her word against hers. So she just counted on she's not going to say anything. And she did say something, and everything came to a head. So that was a mess. So then we get Lottie trying to be a part of the drama. Lottie, you're going to get a lot of grace because Lottie has announced that she is expecting, her and her husband, Joshua, who she thinks is a Johnny Depp lookalike. The jury's out on that. They wear similar hats. I'll give them that. They're a cute couple. But she's saying, I've heard that she's talked about me over the years. She's in a confessional. I don't appreciate that. I wanted to believe it wasn't true, but that's what I've been hearing. And from her behavior at her party, I believe it. So Lottie, you're right about that. Dara is a mess and she's a liar. But she's been called out. She jumped up and ran. But Bravo pulled her back in. She said, and she's also one of the people that tries to say negative things about Meghan Markle. I'm no Meghan Markle stan, but the lady doesn't bother anybody. So when she gets all this hate, I don't understand it, and I can't figure it out. But I'm looking at them. I have my suspicions as to what it is. Some of y'all thought y'all were going to get Harry, and a lot of you were not going to get Harry. Whether or not Meghan got him, a lot of them weren't going to get him. So Myka says, well, they said, you handled it so well. She says, well, I teach etiquette. I teach poise. So I just fell into my own practices, which was true because she handled it well. She was incredibly hurt. But I like when she got up, went around the table and said, can we talk? She wasn't trying to do cross the table thing. And then her friend was like, no, we can't talk. I love you, but we can't talk right now. Kissed the lady on the cheek and dismissed her. So I thought Myka did handle it as best as could be expected. And Kimmi says, well, why cry over a friend like that? They're toxic. Kimmi's going to be a mess, y'all. Kimmi likes to keep something going. Kimmi was instrumental in that whole madam rumor. And then Dara's going to gaslight us later that, well, things were being said about me that I didn't find fair. Now, I told y'all in the last review, Dara seemed to think that it wasn't that big a deal when Myka brought it to her. She said, I have to warn you, people are calling you a madam. They're spreading rumors about you. And she said, I don't care. Now we find out later that she cares, so we will see. He's so strange looking. You think Mark is strange looking? Oh, Joshua. Yeah, there's something, it's very androgynous. He's not bad looking. He just, actually, Kimmi or Martha said he looked like some type bird. And production is a trip. They did a split screen between Joshua and this bird, and he did kind of look like him. So he does have a unique face. I'll give him that. They need to leave Meghan alone. Yeah, I'm tired of it. They've been married how long? They got 2 little toddlers. It's been 5 years or so. Enough already. So they tell her, you're too genuine. You're too nice. That's why people feel like they can run over you. Myka's claiming that she's going to, don't mistake her kindness for weakness. I don't know, Myka. We'll believe it when we see it. So Kimmi is telling her, tell her that you want to chat, but only by walkie-talkie. That was another thing that came up. She gave her friend a gift of a walkie-talkie because they work in the same building. Dara took offense because the walkie-talkies were pink, and she brought them during like a meeting Dara was having. So Dara just spent the whole last episode being kind of terrible. And then they show us the different homes since they were talking about residentials. Lady Emma, nobody's going to beat Lady Emma. That home is worth $205 million. I think they said 190 euros, and they get over 1 million visitors a year. I had the name in last week's notes. I didn't write it again, but it is a massive estate. So they can't beat Lady Emma. Misse is in her 2-bedroom apartment, and she says, I've had grand homes before during my marriage, but I'm kind of proud of myself. I'm starting over. Her husband is a footballer. He's retired. They had a messy divorce. He ended up with custody of her son. She ended up with another man's child within 8 months, y'all. So she's a trip. The son is in Copenhagen, Denmark with the daddy. So she didn't look good at all during the divorce. I tell you what, in London, they don't seem to handle these ladies with kid gloves. Lady Emma told us, not Lady Emma's still married. Martha told us, Martha's a lady as well. She got out of her divorce with just the name, honey. She left like Tina Turner. Only she didn't ask, that's what they did to her. She has nothing. She's the one in the bird-infested home. Production has been on it lately. Yes, American Born, you can say something. They're going to put up the side by side, which I love. It's very messy, but I love it. Yes, I've seen a documentary on Lady Emma and her husband. Yeah, there's a lot of rumors out there about them. She's British Nigerian. His family kind of disowned him, but not really. They didn't go to the wedding. So they don't kind of disown each other because they still keep those titles. Unless you're Andrew, they had to take his title because he's in the cabinet. Thank you, Mama Bees. Here is some housekeeping. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and share the live to keep the channel in the algorithm. Thank you. If you are part of the replay gang, please like and join the conversation. Yes, and if you see the hype feature, please give that. Welcome in, Dara. Thank you for coming during the Ladies of London Live. Any news on the Oscars yet? I didn't want to change the time again because I actually had to change the time for one in the morning to, there's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sandra P's Political Discourse. Usually I'm at 9:30, but I'm chaperone on a field trip tomorrow, so I will not be available. So next, we find out that Misse has the next kind of trip, days out. So Mark had the first event, Dara had the next event, Missy's having an event. She says, we're going to go to a winery. Lottie gets in a confessional, says, this is the worst trip ever for a pregnant lady. She doesn't want to drink on camera. Possibly she's not drinking at all. I don't know. So she's saying this is going to be terrible for her. There are cars, so nobody has to drive. Missy has thought of everything. She's hired a car. So she's, I've organized cars outside the city to kind of get everybody's energy back. We find out from Martha, y'all, that she lost her sister in 2023. The sister checked out, y'all, self-deletion. So that was really sad. And then Margot is at home with Martha. Martha's kind of falling apart. She's very well dressed, but she's in this, Lady Martha. She's in this red pillbox hat, and she's just a crying, y'all. We find out, we remember last week, she was talking to Margot. Margot's the other American. Margot is also looking for a home. Her budget is $50,000 a month. Now, Lady Martha is robbing Peter to pay Paul. Her budget is $3,500, period, for the renovation of her whole place. She's doing the sitting room. She met a man in the park and gave the man $300, her house keys, and something else. Y'all, this is a mess. So Margot is going off on her. And I don't know where the conversation went. The editing was a little strange because we see her in the little red pillbox hat. She's crying, I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have done it. And then Margot is telling her, she said, well, I don't want to walk in on my friend dead because she gave somebody her house keys. This is a mess. And then the hat is gone. So I guess she took it off while she was crying. I don't know. But I think that if somebody told me that their sister, their sibling in 2023, that was 3 years ago, self-deleted, I'm not going to throw that in their face about walking in on them dead. So Margot, I don't know about you. You kind of getting on my nerves. Martha is a lot. She is a character, but she didn't deserve that. I don't know what else was going on, but that's all we saw. I mean, now that's enough. She done gave the man the keys. He could come in while they're there. So I kind of see what Margot's talking about, but it was a little harsh. Everyone's speaking to each other. There's always some event in London, that's for sure. American Born, that's what it looks like. I love that. That was very sad, American Born. And then when we get to the event, it's going to be like a round table of people having these horrific, sad events, which Kimmi kind of gets annoyed at. I thought that was a trip. I'm on the fence about Margot. I am too, American Born. She seems to be putting on airs. Because, lady, we don't need to know about your budget. And if it is $50,000 a month, why are you telling your friend who's robbing Peter to pay Paul? That was in poor taste to me. Me too, American Born. It wasn't right. Dear Yvette, the Ladies of London is way better than the first one. Really, that's the one Caroline Stanbury was on. That's how we knew her. I'd only seen a couple of episodes. I'm not that familiar with it. There's another one that some of this cast was on called Made in Chelsea. But somehow these shows don't really stick. They have the Real Housewives of London. I don't know where to watch that. People claim that's good, but I don't know where to watch it. Now they have the one in Lagos. I don't know where to watch that, but they said that one is a trip. I would watch that. I love Nollywood and all that stuff. Nigerians are off the hook. You know I love them. They're extra. So Martha was still crying. She done took that hat off. Margot's going off on her. Next, we get a scene with Lottie. They're trying to make Lottie a thing. I'm on the fence with Lottie, y'all. She talks real slick. That's the one who's married to Joshua, the half of the fashion couple. I blame my mom for my shopping addiction. She took me to the first mall. Okay, so they're looking for baby clothes. Remember now, she's 16 weeks pregnant. They're looking for baby clothes. Her dad was an engineer. He was a director. He was a CEO. in 2008 during the financial crash, the worldwide financial crash. He was laid off, but before that, they went from middle class to upper class. But she speaks about how in the United Kingdom, the caste system, you really don't go from middle class to upper class. Money you may, but she's saying we're kind of known as the nouveau rich. Same thing here, nouveau riche. Is you can't buy a pedigree and all that. So they check out, they spent 348 euros. Hip, hip, hooray, y'all. Most of us spent that last week. I'm cutting down on spending though. Yes, that's a good one too. Dear Yvette, was it? Made in Chelsea. That's the one Mark came from. American Born says, I can send you a site to watch, and the Lagos ladies are so good. Oh, American Born, if you follow me on, I'm not on Twitter, but I'm on Threads, and I'm also, excuse me, I'll turn the heat up before I sat down, on IG. I think I've seen you there. So I would love to. I will catch up with that and watch it. It's got a lot of stuff going on. She's a braggart. Yes, she is. $348, honey, Kyle Richardson, and then they'd be laughing at that. I think Kimmi had some type scene. Kimmi, I'm a little tired of you, so I don't remember what you did. It just says Kimmi scene and a question mark. Excuse me, y'all. I got to get on it. So next we have Dara and Myka at lunch. Dara, you can't just quit like that. Read your contract. So we got Dara and Myka at lunch. They are asking each other, well, how do you feel? Oh, I guess I'm okay. I could be better. How do you feel? Dara says, not great. She said it wasn't that big a deal. It was just a miscommunication between Misse and myself, and then she brought it to you. Dara is lying right in front of our face. She talked about her friend Myka like a dog. Misse felt badly about it, told Myka. Myka confronted her, and Dara lied. And then when she thought nobody was looking, she was just speaking to production and say, I did say that. So now she's lying again, y'all. These two were at lunch. And then Myka says to her, well, when I heard that you were talking about me like a dog, that's my words. But she said, when I heard you were talking about me, can you imagine my shock? Dara said, can you imagine my shock? This lady is crazy, y'all. She said, people were saying, I'm a madam. They were talking about me. And Myka said, but then you were talking about me. This is them at lunch. I was sick of both of them. Dara says, I stuck up for you that night. And then we get a flashback to Dara saying, Myka's a friend of mine, but she was just, to me, always wishy-washy about Myka. She didn't really claim Myka like Myka claimed her. She just didn't. And then production shows us Myka saying, we've known each other since we were 17 years old. She's my best friend. Y'all, this was the best. This was really good. Instagram, okay, thank you, American Born. Kimmi is a little bit fake to me. She is David. Kimmi started a lot of the problem because she was the one that kept bringing up the madam rumor. And even if Dara said, well, it doesn't bother me, clearly it did, because later on she says it did bother her, but she told us it didn't. Yeah, I kind of have to watch Kimmi. Dara is a snake. She is. I want her to stick around because we need at least one snake per show. Gaslighting, exactly. So then Myka, she says, I stuck up for you. Dara's claiming that I stuck up for you. We get a flashback to Dara. Production is showing us that she did actually say that. We get a confessional with Myka, and Myka is saying, I'm getting the 3Ds, denial, defensiveness, deflection. So I'm kind of proud of Myka. I didn't know that Myka was going to realize that Dara was gaslighting her, as Yvette said, but she did realize it. She said, I need to feel safe in a friendship, and if I don't, I'll have to move on. So I was kind of proud of her, y'all. I didn't know she would do that. And then she says in the conversation with her, if I need to feel safe in this friendship, here's Dara. It goes both ways. Dara, you were the one. This lady is a trip. She said it goes both ways. Y'all, I couldn't believe that. I'm sorry, y'all. I think I swiped myself out of here. 1 minute. Okay, there I am. I'm still here. I'm sorry. I hit something and swiped the screen down. So then Dara says, anyways, Myka, I love you. I don't want to be upset, but I have to get back to work. Now, we didn't see them order any drinks, any food, but they sat in these people's establishment and went, well, what about me? What about me? You too. You too. So that went on a little bit, and then she went back to work. Now, they worked in the same building. I wonder why they didn't just have like something in the office. So that was kind of strange. So she says she loves her. Myka is in a confessional. She says, well, I'll be devastated since we've known each other since we were teens, but if they don't get on the right track, she's not going to be able to still be around Dara. So y'all, this is kind of sad. This has been a friendship of over 20 years. I said, baby, y'all done. This lady's dangerous. She can lie with a straight face, and she was able to keep turning it back on her. I didn't like that. We get Mark. Mark is in this, he got this big black umbrella. He says one thing about London, the weather is reliable, reliably ghastly. And it does look bad. It is raining. They said it's really chilly. And, you know, they like to dress up. So they're kind of disappointed in that. And then Kimmi tells us her background. Remember, she said that she is Haitian American. Her parents are shipping magnates. We find out that the dad is actually fully Haitian, because she just looked like a regular British white woman to me. But the father is Haitian. She says when she was growing up, spent a lot of time in Miami, also in Haiti, Port-au-Prince. She said he used to joke like, oh, I just found a little white girl. And people thought that was so hysterical. But I don't know how Kimmi felt about that. I don't know. So Myka is telling us they're at this table, they're at lunch at the winery. Myka saying, my dad is from the Bahamas, so I'm half Bajan. That wasn't the norm where she grew up. I can't remember where Myka grew up, but again, she looked like a regular white lady to me too. But if it's half, certain ones will claim, you know, they're half this, half that. Next, Margaret starts talking about this nasty movie that she was in. Kimmi wants to know, is that considered corn? And y'all, why did Margot look offended? She's the one that's been telling us ever since, 3 episodes? We have to hear something about this nasty movie she was in, and it was in Cannes. So I don't know. I got tired of her talking about it. But evidently, she doesn't want you to call it corn. Then, this is where it gets sad, y'all. Misse says, well, I want to be candid and transparent and tell everyone something terrible that happened to me. She said, my brother was publicly shot on the street in London. Now, y'all, they're not like that with guns the way we are over here. So that was a big deal. It was national news. He lost his life. It was Christmas Eve. He was with his wife and one of his children. He and his wife had 2 children. And y'all, they started to speculate in the news that he might have been into rugs. He might have been in the underworld. Because again, like I said, that is unusual. The police don't even carry weapons unless, if you watch the BBC, sometimes they'll have some of those shows and they'll be like armed police. That's a separate unit. If you call the police, you may or may not get one. They have to call armed police, and then it'll be the assailant or whatever's going on. That person's armed. So this was really sad of Misse. Everybody had some type sob story, a sad story. And then Kimmi's in a confessional, y'all. She complains. This is the time we want to talk about the funny stuff. Kimmi, you getting on my nerves with this. And then she says it at the table like, oh, this is a Debbie Downer. She mentioned Debbie Downer from Saturday Night Live. Y'all, I thought Kimmi was extremely rude. I'm going to read a few comments. Myka was on Watch What Happens Live, and it sounds like she isn't friends with Dara anymore. Oh, I had a link I will pull up. We'll look at that before the end of This American Born. I'd wondered about that. Oh, you know what? That event that they have that the Brooke Ashley had on her channel. Well, it wasn't on her channel yet. I hope she covers it. It was on IG. It was in New York. So I bet that is when one of those nights she was on Watch What Happens Live. Okay, American Born's got to let her dogs out. Thank you. So they're still at this event, and everybody's getting kind of like, Kimmi's kind of right, but you don't say that kind of stuff. If somebody feels the spirit moves them to speak, they can say what they want to say, even if it is something sad. That was kind of crazy. So they all are talking to Martha. We find out Martha is a lady. And then Misse asks, well, Emma, what are you? Is your husband a duke? No, my husband is, I don't want to name what he is because she got so offended. And then Misse said, well, I'm sorry. I don't know. We don't do that where I'm from. I'm with you, Misse. I don't know what he is either. I know she's Lady Emma, but I don't know. She got offended. Oh, Marquis. Lady Emma's husband is a Marquis. She said, that's higher than a duke. She got really upset. So Lottie says, I want to remain candid. I want to tell a story about my family. My father had liver cancer. The group's like, oh, Lord. So they're still at the winery, y'all. Her father had liver cancer. Thank God he's in remission. So Lottie still has her dad. She has her mom and her dad. She's blessed. She's a young lady, and her husband are having a child. So I'm happy that she didn't lose her dad. So Kimmi in the confessional says, oh my God. Kimmi does not want to hear any more sad stories. This lady is a trip. So Misse says, well, let's come up with something else to do. They decide they're going to play beer pong. Of course, Lottie can't play because she's pregnant. The two Americans know how to play. Margot has played beer pong before. She's not good at it, but she has played it before. Myka has played beer pong before. Some of the Brits knew how to play, so I was kind of shocked about that. I'm not a beer pong person. More like a college thing. So the ending, y'all, we started to see some previews of what's going to happen next week. And the strange thing about it is that the ending didn't really flow. It was an engaging episode. It kept my attention, but it wasn't a 10 like last week. I had to give it a 7. I'll give it a 7. So I'm glad American Born mentioned Watch What Happens Live. I pulled up a link. I don't know if that is the link that I pulled, but I'm going to pull it up just to see whether or not that is what it is. So we have Myka on Watch What Happens Live. I want to see what else. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. One moment. I need another screen. I'm sorry, everybody. I usually would have this laid out, but I didn't have all of the presentations that I need. One moment, just give me a moment. Any Oscar news? I know they start with like one big award and then they'll do like a bunch of small stuff. But I haven't turned it on yet. Let me see if there's any comments. Okay, no, not yet. All right, I'm still here, just trying to find out why I'm not able to. One moment, let me turn my camera off. I can actually find it better if I'm not looking at myself. One moment. Okay, I apologize, everybody. I found it. Excuse me for that moment of silence and what I was doing there. One moment, I have actually found it. It says, are they still friends today? So it's from bravo.com. And I'm going to share the screen. That's going to help me. Let's see. And I'm not sure if this is the Watch What Happens Live appearance or if this is from bravo.com. Myka did an interview. Okay, here we are. Ladies of London, The New Reign. No, this is from Bravo. Let's see. No, that is actually not. Okay, here it is. Are Myka Meyer and Dara Huang still friends today? There it is. Okay, I'm sorry. That's not actually the window I'm trying to share. Let me go back to the other window. Present. Okay, this is it. So this is from bravo.com. Let's see. Where Myka Meyer and Dara Huang stand today. This is from, she went to her house. That is not the lunch. She went to her house. Let me see, because I'm curious. All right, this is what American Born just told us. Following the Ladies of London 2-episode premiere, Myka stopped by the Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen Clubhouse with an update on their friendship status today. When host Andy asked if she'd spoken to Dara since the dinner, which she quit the show, Myka revealed, yes, we did. We had a kind of come to Jesus moment together. And then after that, never again, never again. So y'all, that's the one that was filmed. I wonder if that's what motivated Dara to even talk to her. Though Myka also confirmed that Princess Beatrice's role as stepmom to Dara's son, Wolfie, is indeed as big of a deal as Andy imagined it to be, she denied that her former friend's connection to the British royal family played any part in her decision to leave the show. Now, Myka, I don't know how you can say that. I was thinking that. They've had enough scandal. So with them saying that this woman was a madam, I don't think that she was going to be able to stay there with that and have that co-parenting relationship. No, I think it had nothing to do with it, Myka opined, before offering her own theory on Dara's abrupt departure. I think people saw the real her. I think she got caught in a really bad lie and there was no way out of it. And she realized that it was like a trapped animal and they panicked and then she quit. Okay. Then we get a brief timeline of Myka and Dara's friendship. As they previously revealed on Ladies of London, they met more than 2 decades ago. I just mentioned that. They both attended undergrad programs at the University of Miami. From there, their stories began to diverge. By Myka's account, their friendship has always been pretty strong. See, I don't understand Myka. That's not a strong friendship, Miss Lady. But Dara claimed in episode 1 confessional they weren't super close in college. Post-graduation, Myka moved to New York while Dara continued her architecture studies at Harvard. Yeah, Dara's no slouch. She is an architect. Fast forward, we're both in London, Dara added. We met back up. We still weren't that close. Y'all, this lady's still denying her. She continued, Myka looks up to me for business. I feel like she's still really trying to find what it is that she'll bring that will bring her success. She's not quite there yet. Now, Myka is a successful etiquette coach. I've seen her on the morning shows. Production has even shown us. When Misse's accusations came to light in episode 2, however, Dara told the group, Myka's my sister. Dara just be saying anything. As Myka meanwhile concluded in a producer interview, I've cried more times about Dara than I've ever cried about anything in my life. I feel like I lost a family member. I lost a friend. I lost trust. My friendship with Dara is not ever going to be what it was. I don't know, Myka, you kind of like single white female with this lady. She says she don't know you like that. In the meantime, go inside the explosive dinner that led Dara to leave Ladies of London in new reign. Okay, we already talked about that last week. Okay, that was that dinner they were showing. Let me go back. But, I mean, they got a hit on their hands. I liked it. I don't love, the cast is not that likable, but I have interest in everybody that's on the show, so I will say that. Some of them I don't really care for. I'm not a big fan of Margot. Myka would probably be my favorite one, kinda. And let me just see if we can get, all right, here we go. I'll tell you who's who as it comes up. Oh no, that's a preview. I had something with these are the pictures from last week. This is easier. Ladies of London, the new reign. And let me see how that looks. Okay, there we go. Let me see if Lady Emma, I think they are positioning her as the star. But again, she doesn't want to really get into the mess. And she comes to events kind of late, or she'll have to leave early. So Lady Emma, that does not a star make. And again, you know, the Bravo audience, we decide who the star is, not production. But I do like Lady Emma. I liked her. Martha Sitwell. Martha's a bit of a disaster. She got that magpie flying all over her house, leaving bird poop all over the house, which is kind of disgusting. And again, she's struggling to come back from a marriage where she was left with nothing but the name. So that's Lady Martha. She's very well dressed. All of them are. Here's Mark Francis Vandelli. He just bought a house in Tuscany. Look at him. He's very fashionable. He's an antiques dealer. He's from Made in Chelsea, I think they said. So they're calling him an extravagant socialite. Again, this is Ladies of London, but this is one of the gents. So that's Mark. He's pretty funny. Lottie, I don't know. I'm on the fence with Lottie. Lottie says a lot of slick stuff, but she's going to have pregnancy privilege. Again, I have my season 1 cloak of immunity over everyone. Myka really needs it, so I have it really over her. Lottie got a slick mouth, but we'll see. I don't know how I feel about her yet. She's a graphic designer. Her husband, Joshua, is in fashion. He is a designer to the stars, she said. She told us Jason Momoa, Sabrina Carpenter, someone else. I can't remember who else she said. But he is a big name there. Here's Misse. Misse is a model. And she has 2 children. The children have 2 daddies. And she is a divorcee, newly single mother of 2. She's a Swiss model. Here's Kimmi. She's pretty in that green. One thing Kimmi gonna do is cackle with her mouth wide open. Kimmi has a set of 9-year-old twins with her husband. She didn't say she divorced him yet, but they're not together. She said they were kind of having problems, and then she got pregnant, and they just co-parented. So we saw her cooking for him the other night. That's Kimmi. This is Myka. Myka is the etiquette coach. Doesn't really read friendships all that well, but I like Myka. And then here is Margot. Margot has one nasty movie under her belt, but you can't say that to her or she will get offended. I don't know how I feel about Margot. And then again, Dara. Dara did not make the cut as far as cast photos because Dara tried to quit, y'all. So I got to show you Dara separately. Dara tried to quit. And then, y'all, after that, that is pretty much it. Let me stop sharing the screen. I'll let you see Dara again. The one thing I was on Dara's side about is that they were calling this lady a madam, of which she is an architect. And I didn't like them doing that when she's the only Asian person on the cast. So I don't care for that. That's kind of a stereotype. People say things like that about Asian women. And I don't like that. But Dara, you didn't have to lie. You should have wrapped them up. She could have she could have did a lot more. Everyone's speaking to each other. She's looking for another rich man, American born. Yeah, and she was showing that 2-bedroom apartment. If you want to live well in London, you got to get a rich husband. I said, you just got rid of one. Martha's probably doing the same thing, American born. Margot acts like she's a household name. Police. American born, I never laid eyes on the woman. But evidently, in addition to this show, she's shooting another TV show, so we will see. How were you offended by your resume? Thank you, Cece, and you lead with that. We didn't know that. I mean, you are no Julia Roberts, so we don't know. You told us what you were in. Now you mad? And I think Kimmi was the one that said, is that considered corn? And she's like, oh, well, why did you say that, lady? Because the way she described the scene, it sounded like corn to me. I don't know. That's what it sounds. American born is laughing at Cece. Exactly. I don't know. But yeah, she's putting on airs. I have to see more. That's the good thing about this show, y'all. It's new. The cast is new, even though it says season 4 because they had a Ladies of London. This is Ladies of London, the new reign. So we get to kind of know the cast. I don't have any real favorites. I will take Myka under my wing because the lady needs help. And they're kind of picking on her a little bit. But again, her good friend was the one doing it. So that's why the rest of them did it. But y'all, I guess I'll turn on the Oscars, even though Mama B says they're boring. Catch up on some other shows. I'll be here same time tomorrow night for Sandra P's Political Discourse. We'll do multiple topics in the morning. Not errands, but I'm chaperone at one of our city museums with the 2nd grade, y'all. So pray for me. Pray for me. But it's fun. I've been to that location before with a different group, but it's a lot of fun. It's supposed to be kind of chilly and it's rainy, but it's inside. So that's really good. Okay, thank you so much. Let me read through all of these. Replay gang, hit the like button, drop a comment, and let's hype this video up. Thank you, CC. I always appreciate the moderators putting housekeeping in there for everyone. Yes. Thank you, Team Replay. Have a blessed week, everyone. Yes. American Born, thank you. She just thanked me for covering the show. Thank you for coming in to discuss it. I appreciate that. And CC is, yeah, thank you. I need your prayers. The 2nd grade, a trip. I love this class, but they are a trip. Everybody, enjoy the rest of the night. Enjoy the Oscars. Hopefully it'll pick up. Is Will Smith there? Will Smith. If anybody is there with Tourette's or they try to talk slick, give us something to talk about, please. I have a few topics, but I could use something else that's kind of funny. So we'll see what happens. Maybe something crazy will happen. Good night, dear Yvette. Thank you for joining the live, everyone that did. American Born's laughing. I'll see you in the YouTube streets, everybody. Good night. Stay tuned for the...
I don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you? that I don't think that he's good. That I